Hi, this is Emily Salguero, editor-in-chief of The Echo, Cal Lutheran student newspaper. Cal Lutheran hosted its International Day of Peace this year on Tuesday, September 23rd, through the university's Center for Global Engagement. The celebration, which was established by the United Nations, has been held at the university since 2010, when Associate Provost for Global Engagement, Dr. Cristina Sanchez, petitioned to receive a peace pole, which is a symbol for Cal Lutheran's commitment to promote peace in our world. This year's theme, provided by the UN, was Recovering Better for an Equitable and Sustainable World. Our reporter, Carrollyne Aasen, got the chance to connect with Dr. Sanchez, interim university pastor Mark Holmerud, and some other members from the Center for Global Engagement to get some more insight on the meaning behind International Day of Peace and how Cal Lutheran honored the occasion this year.
Hi, my name is Carrollyne Aasen. I'm a junior at Cal Lutheran, and I am a reporter for The Echo and a double major in communications with an emphasis in journalism and Spanish.
Welcome, Carrollyne. So you did some reporting on the International Day of Peace festivities, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little more about what this day was about.
From my understanding, the International Day of Peace is a 24-hour period in which the whole world stops violence, and there is a ceasefire if there's any wars. And it's really just about everyone stepping away from acts of harm and from violence to really reflect on what can be achieved in our society if we were able to come together.
Okay, and so this is a worldwide event, right? It's not just pertaining to Cal Lutheran.
No, it is celebrated globally, and it became a holiday or a national celebration or global celebration by the UN General Assembly in the 80s, but became unanimously voted in after the events of 9/11.
And how did this event kind of come to be at Cal Lutheran?
So from my understanding, Cal Lutheran in 2009 petitioned for a peace poll, which is a poll that has the prayer, "May peace prevail on earth," in the languages that were reflected at the time at Cal Lutheran, and it is located in the Rose Garden by Samuelson Chapel. And really, after this petitioning of this poll, Cal Lutheran became a voice of peace and was tasked to instill this day yearly. So the first event, from what I was told during the interviewing process, we really started celebrating this day in 2010. And it has been yearly, but there has been different people organizing it. But it's always been an event celebrated on campus.
There was definitely multiple events that went on this year for the International Day of Peace. What were some of those events?
So in the morning, the international students and staff were able to volunteer to hold up the 59, I believe, countries that are represented at Cal Lutheran. They hung up all the flags together because there wasn't as many volunteers to hold each flag individually. So they walked from the Center of Global Engagement office all the way to Samuelson Chapel, where they placed the flags in stands in front of the peace pole. And then following that, our pastor at Cal Lutheran, he did a rededication and a moment of silence for the day. And the rededication was really just about peace and justice, and really reflected the theme that the UN chose for this year.
And this was put on by the Center of Global Engagement, right?
Yes.
How were people's reactions at the event? What would you say that people were feeling while they were there?
I know that a lot of teachers, I talked to Dr. Cristina Sanchez and Dr. Seals was there as well. And they were pretty sad that they couldn't attend because they were teaching freshman seminar classes. And that was when the morning events came on. But I could see that a lot of the students who were holding the flag were really in awe of the celebration, I guess you could say. Like, they were really involved, and when there was time for prayer and stuff like that, when I was taking pictures, I could see how many of them were really reflecting. And I just think that it was overall a good celebration from what I saw. As for the afternoon, I couldn't really see, but I heard that it went pretty well. and that there was a lot of art that was created. And from one of my interviews, they had Post-it notes outside the CGE office that was like, I think really a lot of people were just talking about hope and peace and that kind of stuff.
So from your reporting, why do you think it's important that we acknowledge this day here at Cal Lutheran? Especially during this time, we are in a very unjust world, in a very inequitable world, as we saw with the digital divide, with the pandemic, with the BLM movement, with just the Asian hate. We saw a lot of injustice and a lot of disparities and a lot of just not peace. So I think that this day was really a time to reflect on what we could possibly do to help change and really to address the inequalities and just come together to just think about it and see if there's anything that we could do within ourselves or within our community to help create a safe space and create peace. Well, thank you, Carrollyne. I really appreciate you having this conversation with me.
Thank you for having me.
Here's what else you need to know this week. Cal Lutheran's enrollment numbers for the fall 2021 semester are still low, despite students returning to campus for in-person instruction. Our reporter, Emily Fine, has more on this story. Cal Lutheran has also recently hired Dr. Jill Moffitt as the new Title IX coordinator. Our reporter, Amy Barrera, has more on this story. All of the news discussed on this podcast can be found at cluecho.com. Thank you for listening.